the nature of the map, 3 sites, you should be able to walk away with more. At least that's what we've seen in the past. So for FaZe, you just want to mitigate that, right? If you can get to 7-5 on the defending side, you're sitting pretty, man. That's money.
Yeah, and I mean, something else that we talked about at the beginning of the series, at least, and I think this has been relevant in each and every map so far, where the jet oppers are.
Yep.
I keep using this X Factor term. I'm gonna get a new one next time I cast, but they have been the deciding. You look at the score lines alone of the last map. Baby Bay was struggling, and I'm not, exaggerating that either. In the same way that Rob Wiz on Bind was struggling. Now Haven, this is an operator. Okay, I was going to say an operator Haven, but it is absolutely a situation where if either of these players are playing, at their best, their team will look good, I think, on either side, regardless of attack or defense. And right away, the Owl Drum will get the tag on Baby Bay, forcing him back towards defender spawn, and the C-split is underway from BBG here, Doug.
And they've taken garage control. They have full sight of C, or at least full control of C. Excuse me, and now Foe was trying to get the plant down, but you saw how Baby Bay, they're blasting through that double stack. They're understanding that that's where they wanted to plant, but Bjor gets them from behind, takes care of Marv, takes care of Baby Bay, keeps BBG in this thing, but they drop as soon as we set that up. Zachary and Rockets are able to get a couple of pieces. They've got the spike down, but what they don't have is really health, right? Foe is 5. You can't even see his health on the bar, but he's still getting kills. How does the guy do it? Zachary trading him out, drops things down to a 1v1. Zachary looking for the tap. No way. Critical swings. Zachary somehow manages to stay alive long enough to push him back, but you don't know that. I don't know that he has much time left. Zachary has to go in aggressive there. He's going to get the kill, but the spike is going to go off. BBG win the pistol.
Oh, man. Yeah, he's out of time there at the end, but just 2 or 3 different little peaks coming out there from Critical. You'll wonder whether or not somehow he makes a mistake and throws it towards Zach, but nevertheless, BBG comes out on top. What a lurk here from Bjor, Doug.
And he missed a couple shots early on there, right? Like, let's not. I love me some Bjor, but that looked like that easily could have ended up in a horrible Reddit meme. But he was able to get the dub at the end, and again take BBG up early. FaZe not forcing here. Very interesting to note.
Yeah, but Baby Bay with a shot up a C. Find a little bit of action, a little bit of intel early, but play is already feigned back towards mid. And for BBG, I mean, they are opting towards just information gathering here, just making sure they're not getting pushed anywhere. This is FaZe they're playing against after all. There's no reason to expect them to play passive.
Well, and that's the thing too, right? Like, I think you're absolutely right, Lex, because it's not just FaZe, but how often have you seen a team lose a pistol and then full send down C or down B when they're on the defending side?
And it certainly can pay off and be strong. And I think, for the side of FaZe, it's almost criminal how predictable it would be for them to do something aggressive here, because BBG is just...
Oh man, that was such a good setup, right? The cam, then the swing. Zachary gets one, but Rob with the Spectre getting a couple nice shots from Marv. He's not going to be around long enough to deal any more damage, as it's just down to Baby Bay. The slow burn as he makes his way all the way through the defending side. You see, they may be wise to it already. Yep, Critical's there. Nice shots. BBG win the second.
I don't even remember what it was I was saying. I was too enthralled by the fact that we were about to have some carnage ensuing. Rob Wiz actually steps forward from behind and collects both those frags at short. Zachary on that cam, really making it look super scary for the short players from BBG. So first buy round coming out from FaZe. Spectres and Bulldog will be kept in the hands of BBG, but they do have a Vandal, they do have a Phantom that they've upgraded into this round, so not a pure bonus at all. And for that, to that end, Rob Wiz may play for an orb here, at least get one step closer to his operator, towards his ultimate. What a fast long A play from Bjorn, aggressive long A play. And this default from Bjorn with the Bulldog converts.
Dude is fearless, right? Like pushing all the way in into his cage, through all of the fire, the suppressive fire that was coming out, and manages to get a kill anyway.
Yeah, we love to talk about duelists and the impact they have on rounds with their entries. We love to talk about the operator and things of that nature, but especially on this map where you can have an aggressive default somewhere, that Cypher everyday main, always so important. And a confident Bjor means an early pick for BBG.
Now, what do BBG do with it? They started to show a little bit across mid, but once again, they take Garage. You see Baby Bay starting to dash over, understanding that's exactly where the hit's going to come up as the spike starts to work its way up C long. A couple of cages from Zachary, just really forcing BBG into a brutal spot as they're just picking them to shreds. BBG's just down to 2 here, and the spike's down in C long.
30 seconds left.
Oh, does have a lurk, only gets one, and it really seemed as though BBG had the right read. Zachary was alone on site for a given 5, maybe 10 seconds. However, once the rotations had come in, the cages get popped, the delay is inevitable.
Right.
BBG just did not have the utility where it needed to be. The blind was, or sorry, the paranoia was late coming up from long C. There was no recon dart available for sight. And they're just, it seemed a little disjointed. And in this game, when, you know, you're going to go ahead and find an opportunity, a timing window in which you can maybe hit a site, it's unfortunate to see them fall short there because they had the right read. I think it was a trip in that garage hallway that really sent things asunder, but you know, I think we are dealing with a tech pause, perhaps a crash on the way of one of the players in the server, Doug. But interesting hold there, but a solid one from FaZe nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, a great one. And again, you talked about it. It wasn't until Baby Bay dashes back through to through the defender spawn, the cages pop up, and then it's just a wait, right? Like hold things back as long as you possibly can. Give your team a chance to show up. It looks like the player whose PC crashed is already back up, which might be the fastest I've ever heard of somebody dealing with that. But we're back into the action, 5 seconds away from kicking off the 4th round.
Yeah, and it will be a partial, you know, they're going to be able to buy next BBG, but they have 2 rifles in hand, so early mid play coming out from them. Marv, a bit of a missed shot at the beginning, but he handles it nicely, recovers, finds the frag, and the trip bails him out of any increased aggression from mid.
And Raucus has shown up as well. Look at how much taste they've taken as they try to push their way out through garage, understanding where BBG is. They've got him like pinched back if they can continue to push forward. Marv already taking care of Will. There's a shot dart from Raucus. I mean, at this point, BBG, well, okay, Bjor, making me eat my words with a filthy 2-piece there to equalize the round and give them a chance.
You guys are so good with stingers.
Where is everyone hiding?
An uncharacteristic long-range stinger frag. Make it 2.
Cage trigger.
All right, what do BBG decide to do? Cage goes up. They're going to push their way into A-Link, but Zachary's there. Zachary's there. Zachary delivers the shots, takes care of Bjor. The problem now is not just that BBG don't have the numbers advantage, but Critical's is super far away. It looks like he's actually going to be able to pick up the spike, however. Surely Zachary saw that, right?
I'm sure he did, but he's got to check his 6, not knowing where Critical was in the round. And regardless, you still got to wait for Corey to move his way over towards A-Link in the first place. Neither player wants to get lurked on just for this exact reason. You take a 1v1 when you're not near your teammate, and suddenly Critical.
Oh, he might catch Corey with his knife out!
There it is. Oh, beautiful clutch from Critical, Doug. Oh my goodness. Just the wherewithal to understand there's a reason why Zachary's playing that far off. There's a reason why he's deep in CT. And you know, we touched on a little bit, like if you're going to fall back, play that defender spawn and kind of give the spike, well, you got to be waiting for something, right?
Right.
And there it is. Critical just knowing in his heart of hearts, he's like, okay, Corey was at garage, likely flank. There it is, 3-1 for them. And the 3-piece on the round to boot. And okay, so we talked about it at the beginning there, Doug. They bought 2 rifles in that round, and it paid off big time.
Big time. Now they've got 5. FaZe doesn't have nearly the same luxury that Built by Gamers do. They also have 4 ultimates to work with here. That Hunter's Fury, they're going to be able to create some space with the run it back as well. But honestly, when you're clicking heads the way BBG is, what's the point?
FaZe, you know, We talked about it. You just expect aggression from them. They give nothing but aggression in this round. They pay for it with 3. Fourth is found lurking on B. That would be Zachary. There's one player left, Raucus, and obviously a low buy, half buy, short buy coming in from FaZe, whatever the name is for it. Point is, 4-1, a convincing start here for BBG,
Yep.
and the last time we saw a convincing start out of this team, did it in a map win, so... Doug, I mean, for FaZe here, you don't... Okay, I was about to say,
Interesting.
if you don't buy an operator for Baby Bay, what
What
is the game plan?
What are we
But there
doing
it
here?
is.
What's the point? What are we doing here? They're going to have that op. Elsewhere on the board, keep an eye on Corey, 1 point away from having that Empress. But we'll see how they choose to play this. The problem is for BBG is they're stacking up. That should give away the op. There it is. They understand where that's going to be coming from. But Baby Bay gets onto critical anyway, and Raucus is going to use the Hunter's Fury to clear space out. But it looks like BBG want to go, right? They don't care about how the rest of the round has gone so far. They're convinced on making their way in through C. They're on the site. They don't have the spike, however. Rob was able to take care of Baby Bay. Raucus trades it back out as Rob continues to dance on the site, stay alive. A 1v3 is not going to pay off. FaZe handled the aggression from BBG beautifully.
Yeah, that was actually... I liked the response. They were very decisive in saying, okay, Baby Bay's here. And normally, like, if you're just defaulting, maybe you think, okay, we're going to move away from the operator once we see it, make him change his position.
Right.
But they dumped utility towards it, and to be fair, they get a one-for-one trade in it. But FaZe had already positioned themselves appropriately, and I think it starts with the Hunter's Fury from Raucus, where he doesn't really produce much with it. But it delays the garage split long enough. It delays
And space.
the actual aggression coming into his face. Yeah, and it allows teammates to arrive. So another fast play coming in towards a lobby, and Rob is facing a Corey who is challenging him with a Vandal at long range. And the repeats, just the audacity. He pays for it with his life.
And look at how FaZe has to respond here. Right, BBG now understanding, right? They've made enough noise. We understand that they're likely going to be pulling over. They take the spike back. Rob's still going to be making sure that nobody's going to push their way through to the defender spawn to try to get behind BBG. But for now, BBG have their pick of the litter.
Get out of my way.
Yeah, this Marv info, he just throws a dark cover down at short and knows nobody's advanced into the closet at least. So the C split seems likely. FaZe is wise too with the disciplines there. They haven't moved. They're ready. Now, if this Hunter's Fury doesn't connect, it's really just all on the entry here from Will to open up the site.
Yeah,
Will delay just long enough for Rob.
And if it's not Will, it's Rob who goes in, but Zachary holds in off just fine. Rob gets 3 with the Blade Storm, but it's Baby Bane. Look at Pure. Pure gets all the way in there, and now it's a 1v1. See how Marv chooses to play this. He's in garage, starting to creep his way forward. Pure does not have the spike. He's got to get onto that. And now, yeah, it's not like he has time to go anywhere else. He's going to get caught just on the other side. Marv is there. Marv takes care of Bjor. FaZe get to 3.
Wow. I mean, that lurk from Bjor, just not enough time to work with to really make that clutch a reality. Marv played it beautifully, clutching up in the late round. But yeah, I mean, there was a few things that just kind of went wrong there for BBG. The Hunter's Fury doesn't connect. Will gets shut down, scanned immediately, coming out of the garage hallway.
Zachary
and luckily
huge.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Zachary has been huge in this series. He's come up a lot for FaZe, Doug, and he's a player that I think, especially when you're on these Sentinel roles, both Bjor and Zachary, 2 tremendous players that do a lot for the team. Easy to miss the plays that they're making. We're highlighting everything else, but Zachary really had a stellar hold over there. Now if FaZe has 3 on the board.
Man, look at Corey. Right, he's taken, really, B is not an option at this point for Built by Gamers unless you deal with him, and they don't really have a setup there, and I also don't know that they know that he's there.
Yeah, tons of info for Corey.
I have
And
retrieved
this
the
owl
spike.
drone might give away just the idea that BBG is already positioned for an A exec. But no really greedy rotations from FaZe. Likely just because, you know, Corey has the cutoff now, but Marv will move over. So there will be conceivably a 5-on-3 site battle here. I mean, Baby Bay is going to be caught up by a dark cover, and yeah, there it is. We'll fall into sight, and they're going to go up to hold this here.
Enemy kill.
Damn, man, the op in the hands of Baby Bay can be so brutal, right? And look at Marv. Marv is able to get a couple. We talked about Corey at the beginning and how good of a position he was in. He's not even, he might not even get a chance to get onto the site before the round is over. It's just critical by himself in a 1v3. FaZe is pushing in from a couple different directions. The clip runs dry as well. Marv has a big round as FaZe tie us up at 4 apiece.
Yeah, Marv just looking crisp, and Baby Bay seemingly looks back on this operator. Both of those frags dropping out of heaven. Wise choice, just understanding, okay, my life is forfeit. We're holding this together. This isn't like a one-and-done scenario. We're fighting for the duration, and it pays off big time for FaZe. And honestly, I mean, this might just seem like a stretch from a caster's POV, but FaZe has not really shown any mid-aggression throughout this entire game, so I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, I mean, BBG, you could call it laziness, but certainly there was no inclination to think, okay, this is the round where FaZe is going to push down on us and get tons of info. So they just kind of ignored it.
Yeah, but
obviously,
they haven't done
dividends.
it B. Well, they haven't done it B, but look at what they've done on C. Right? Like Baby Bay and Corey are all the way back there at this point, and Marv pushes in through garage as well. This is the FaZe special, right? The aggression, the relentless pursuit of who they're playing against. It's just critical here. Critical gets one with the sheriff, but Zachary trades it out. That's what I've been looking for from FaZe, and I was surprised I hadn't seen up until this point.
I love it, though. The fact that they've played passive pretty much throughout the entirety of this game, and then these recent 2 rounds randomly, it's almost unhinged aggression, where you're sprinting down long C, you're getting under mid-window with no supporting you till early in the round, and the fact is, it's playing, I don't want to say random, but it's playing specifically to throw off BBG and lull them into a sense of security and then exploiting that, Doug. And they've done it twice now. Baby Bay still has this operator in hand.
He does, and again, Corey, he hasn't, right, like, I think he's like 1 in 6 right now. He's not lighting up the kill feed, but it's hard to describe how valuable the space denial is at this point. Now he goes into a bit aggressive, and he manages to get the pick. That probably shouldn't have happened, but Bjorn will able to trade him back out, drop things down to 3v3.
Yeah, +1 to accuracy when you're jumping up on a windowsill, I guess, but nevertheless, BBG brings it back. I mean, having both of those deaths, yeah, there's just players that are ready to trade in both instances. Raucous, all on him now at A site.
Yeah, the run it back is there too, and I mean, Will, understanding that the first pick was there, can continue to push the matter and go all the way into A-Link. He's able to get a pick and get the operator out of the hands of Baby Bay. We'll see if Zachary decides to save it. Yes, he does. He might just try to carry it into the next round.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a read there from BBG, but even if you don't get one on Haven, so like maybe Baby Bay doesn't show his operator, maybe you don't know how many players are in garage or whatever, but at least if you've traded these frags out, you know 2 B players traditionally for the side of FaZe have fallen, so the A rotators are out of the equation, right? So the fast A maneuver, all 3 players plowing back with a run it back in your back pocket. I mean, it speaks volumes to just they're playing the game at full speed now. BBG, you know, they were in the last map, they were reacting appropriately, they were maneuvering almost a step ahead of FaZe in a lot of, at least on their defensive side rounds, it seemed like that. Once again, on attack here, BBG is just looking good, man. What was the scenario you posed to me at the beginning? 6-6, you're not satisfied, right?
No, bro, I don't know that I feel good about a 7-5.
Fair.
Right? Like this, and we'll see how it plays out in the second half. But again, you expect the attacking team to have a substantial lead going into halftime, and I don't. We'll see how it pans out. BBG is probably going to make me eat my words, I'm sure.
I mean, the good news is both, I mean, operators are playing pretty well. Rob hasn't been on attack yet. Ooh.
Look at Marv.
Foe.
Oh, he just missed the timing.
Yeah, he didn't see his feet. So he's still staring at this dark cover thinking, oh, it might be time for me to move.
Yeah, but will Marv peek that?
Tragic standoff, honestly. Mid control for BBG, though. They've recognized, okay, Corey's exploiting something. Let's fix it. So at the very least, they're posing the threat of this B hit. And they're drawing eyes towards it.
Again? Bro, again? Right? Like, oh, that was perfect. Right? Like, Foe again managed to look away just as Marv peaked, but the tripwire was there to get the kill. Now, you've got to be careful there as you work your way up C long, because FaZe has Raucus. The discipline was there to get one. Nobody else is following suit because the spike is going back towards A.
And that's a pretty serious commitment to be in long C cubby. So they're recognizing, okay, there's probably 2 guys on C. All right, let's take our 4-on-2 over at A and take our chances. And so now it's Baby Bay with an operator. And he's got a hold here, Doug.
Spike planted.
Spike goes down. You can invest when you've got an op in the hands of Baby Bay over at A. And Zachary on the flank is able to take care of one as well. Critical using the Hunter's Fury to try to get some room going, but Baby Bay with the op yet again, and Raucus with the Hunter's Fury of his own. BBG just down to Will.
Wow. I really thought that was going to be a BBG round. Once Will had gotten this frag, the Hunter's Fury didn't really get anything. I did not see FaZe just so powerful on the retake, stepping up, stepping forward, and claiming a 6th round. Oh, man. BBG, who at times in this half, Doug, I mean, have responded well, have thrown the adjustments back in the face of FaZe. And really, I mean, you know, I was hoping that that frag from Raucus would in some way change the aspect of the round, and I think it may have. I mean, forcing BBG essentially to go back to A. You have a lot of tools still left at your disposal. You stop that C play from coming out. BBG really just got stumped in a few different situations there, Doug.
They did, and they want to go aggressive here too. You see the Lear and Baby Bay peeking off of it with the op. Will wisely thinking real long and hard about whether or not he wants to peek this area of the map, but Marv again going in aggressive. He's got the drone. The drone's cleared, but Marv doesn't look the right way. Beautiful crossfire from BBG.
And a free one from Rob Wiz. That's a nice start. He immediately gets equalized by Raucus. Oh, I jinxed it. It's my fault.
Absolutely, you did that. We'll see what BBG can do here. They've invested onto A. But Zachary, critical, able to trade it out. Now Corey has shown up with the party as well. 3v2 in favor of FaZe. They also have one member certainly worse for wear, but Corey able to heal up, drop things down to just critical. Critical again has been heroic, but this time the jumping classic does not deliver. FaZe on the defending side take a 2-round lead at half.
What a hold from Zachary. In fact, I mentioned it in the last map, but his entire series against BBG has been rock solid, and once again, just stepping up with some big plays. And, you know, critical, who on Bind, on this map, on Ascent, we've seen some really just veteran clutches coming out from him. No shying away from that as him. 1v3 earlier on this map. And Marv, Baby Bay, both chiming in with operator frags at some points. And both of them are playing pretty darn well. And you got to figure BBG, I mean, we're talking about a defensive side of Haven here. I'm looking towards this jet up from Rob Wiz. If he's able to find the picks, they have a real shot. Otherwise, FaZe looking very strong on an attacking side Haven here.
Yeah, man, they look really good. They're going to smoke off Bure, who's playing up in heaven. The tripwires are there, but Bure through the smokes with the tripwire, able to take care of Baby Bay. FaZe is still going to get onto the site, and Marv should be able to get the spike down. All right, and there it is. Now, FaZe can assume some post plants. You see them playing off of the site really hard, ensure that nobody's going to be flanking around. BBG pushing in from heaven and trying to push in from the link as well. The thing is, Marv is in hell, and if left unchecked, this could be chaos. But Rob, Wiz, and Will with the frenzy is able to stop things back. But Raucus not going to be able to pull it off. BBG get a big one.
Yeah, and I'm a little I'm disappointed.
Talk to me.
FaZe had a lot of utility there in the post plant to work with. You had a Paranoia, you had Dark Cover that we even just saw in our spec POV, but even towards the end of that round, it seemed like BBG's play was really just dash in with the frenzy and everybody running after it. You know, making contact there from short, maybe you save the Paranoia for a more timely, you know, adventure. You're right, that was a beautiful one-tap through smoke on the trap wire from Bure to start things out, but really, I mean, creating all this space for Rob Wiz and then Will following it up with 2. Just a beautiful retake from BBG. I think FaZe was maybe just caught unaware with the aggressiveness of it all, and they're actually going to force back here, Doug.
Yeah, they are, and they're going to go right back to where they were just a few moments ago. Presume they're going to clear out the trip. No one tap from Bjor this time around as Baby Bay just dashes his way through it. I mean, FaZe have full control of A here.
Yeah, and this is a tough spot to be in, knowing this is a force buy. Hope everyone's got their utility ready, boys.
When you just saw Foe, like, consider going in through the flank and then decide that they're going to push up towards C anyway. It looks like they're trying to set up a paranoia. There it is, but it doesn't connect on anyone down in hell. The curveball does, but Corey's able to trade it out. He's going to dismiss his way around, and you see Foe running after him with the freaking judge, trying to get the kills. He's able to get two. BBG stuff FaZe.
Wow. And talk about utility. Not just that, just the firepower of the judge coming through. Oh man, FaZe basically had to fight on site there. There's no way you're going to be able to sit back and play range with limited util inspectors, or sorry, stingers. So BBG wisely, you know, not opting to go for that flank as you brought up. Foe thinking wiser of it. Get out the dark cover, get out the paranoia, initiate the retake with that. And Will really cleared out that hell position for his team, at least created the space available for them to get up on the default boxes. And after that, it's just a brawl. The judge coming away with two.
Yeah, Foe went big there, man.
And considering, Doug, just like how back and forth this game has been at times, this has been an incredible rebuttal from BBG to start the second half.
Yep. Yeah, it has, not only to win the pistol, but to handle the aggression from the force from FaZe. And put yourself in a really good spot as you continue to go into the defensive half. But Baby Bay, yeah, that's not good.
Hopefully, I mean, the damage is done at least. Will playing with fire over here.
He's gonna. I see what you did there, Phoenix.
I didn't
Nah,
mean to
that
do
was good. Really?
I swear that was unintentional.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
FaZe, they've got full numbers, right? But a couple of members don't look good as far as HP goes. And they're gonna go back to A, right? They're gonna go back to A. There's some utility there, but Foe with the judge, man. Foe with the judge has been brutal for FaZe the last round, and then even this one as well. Team up 3 so far with that bad boy.
Yeah. I mean, BBG losing the first pick, waiting for this retake to come forward. Not a bad place to be in, especially considering the damaged opponents on FaZe. Paranoia comes through.
Yeah, Rob is on the flank, but it may not matter. Will going in aggressively. He's got the stinger. He's able to get one. Looking for more jumps. The classic is there. He gets a second, and it's just down to Corey. He is going to drop. It looked like Foe was going to get another one with the judge, but it doesn't matter. The outcome's the same. BBG take a 1-round lead.
Well done, BBG. I mean, this was, you know, off the back of a FaZe mostly save. I mean, they had a few pistols, I think maybe a stinger, but a low investment round. They get a spike plant,
Right.
they get a bunch of frags to boot. So altogether, not a complete loss for FaZe. But what they did lose there, Doug, was the lead. 8-7 now BBG. And this will be the first actual bonus, really.
I'll find them.
But how incredible would it be if BBG was able to claim 4 in a row and you know, basically
Revealing area.
have an incredible defense to start this half?
Yep. Will using the run it back. Just full sending as he tries to get a pick, and he gets one as well.
I thought there was no way that Zachary was going to give that one up, but he does. Baby B responds on a critical.
And look at how deep in they are, right? But FaZe handles it just fine. See what Marv can do here. Good paranoia. Create some space. Will with the curveball. They have a decent. They understand where the spike is, right? Like they don't have to move from here. FaZe has to take the fight to them. The benefit for FaZe is that they do have numbers, and they have an Empress. They've got things cooking for them, and it works out as you would expect.
As we mentioned, still that was, I mean, it was a little bit of a bonus round from BBG. FaZe had to have understood that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, just biding their time, claiming a little bit of map control, holding on to it, seeing what happens, and it paid off. I mean, considering how Will popped his run it back at short right away with little to no supporting util, really just kind of sent it. Got the one to Zachary that maybe he shouldn't have, and I mean, from that point forward, FaZe is just like, all right, they'll re-aggro somewhere off this, and there it was. Corey found a free one. A lobby collected free kills. I mean, well played, FaZe. And okay, this is the operator story that I love to harp on, man. if Rob Wiz can get this thing going, and he's already pushed back. From the shadows to back sight, maybe a feint towards C. Can't yeah, quickly.
Hey, Baby Bay's real far up there. It's going to get pushed back after being spotted by the cam. Look at how BBG have to respond, right? They've stacked almost everyone here. Baby Bay gets one, Rob trades it out. The spike is still not fully committed elsewhere, right? Like you expect when you draw that much resource from the defending squad, at that point you're like hightailing it off to the other side of the map. But FaZe playing this one a bit more conservative.
Oh, that's a huge kill from Foe. Not only are you going to get the man advantage back, but you've kind of sniffed out that was all that there was towards C. And the retake can come in a little cleaner. You're always worried about a mid lurk here on Haven. But when you're on defense anyway, just having to clean up, make sure nobody's in your back lines. A lot more comfy to retake, and you know it's not an issue.
All right, FaZe choosing to play off. There's that paranoia that we saw, also not going to connect, but there's a counter as the Empress is used. Rob with the op, aggressive, but it's Marv. Marv, who's already gotten two. Marv gets 4, are you kidding me?
2 of those headshots with the classic nonetheless. Huge hold from FaZe. That was a 4-on-3 post plant, and Marv just had him for lunch, Doug.
Just unreal, bro. And like you're right, 2 of them were with the classic. He was in such a good spot. BBG challenged, and Marv just handled it beautifully. He's having himself a wonderful game right now.
Yeah, and BBG, who's, I mean, throughout that entire round, they looked very in control despite maybe some misplays. And, you know, talking about just the retake and the storylines that this game is funneling out of, that BBG retake has been rock solid so far. So for Marv to hold that, that's huge. And already a C play coming through, Doug. Blades exchanged.
Yeah, a couple blades. Both of them used the blade storm. Baby Bay wins that duel. Hunter's Fury's there as Rockus takes care of Will as well. And the chaos that ensues leaves 1 player left from Built by Gamers, and it's Bjor. Bjor, he's got a stinger, right? He's
Spike planted.
There's a chance. There's a slim one. There's a chance. FaZe able to stuff it, however, extinguish that, and take a 2-round lead.
That was kind of cool to watch. Just like knowing that the C execute is coming up. He didn't see Baby Bay right away, I don't believe. Rob was speaking of now, but both blade storms out. And I think Rob just threw some knives randomly down there through the dark cover and came away with a headshot. And the fact is, I mean, it was smart to do. He lost the duel versus Baby Bay on top C, but, you know, that was a very dangerous situation where, I don't know, say Will arrives a moment sooner, maybe Baby Bay falls. You know, you could have been looking at a 4-on-3 situation with BBG keeping C. Really, really close call there for FaZe. Nevertheless, Baby Bay came through. Now you've got weaponry back on the side of BBG. You've got the operator in the hands of Rob Wiz. But what you don't have anymore is the lead, and so it slips down to 10-8. FaZe looking in control of this game here, Doug.
They do indeed. Baby Bay with that op. Looking high, but it's actually Rob who's low with the op of his own. They both narrowly miss, right? But presence has been made. They know where they are. I mean, a knife's edge there.
Like, operator duels don't always deliver, but this one is on this map right now.
Yeah.
A heck of a thing to watch. FaZe is not moving away towards any other spot but A. I think there's maybe a Corey lurk over at Garage. Otherwise, this is going to be an A hit here.
Eyes down.
Rob, man. Rob, when Rob's feeling himself, it's really hard to deal with. He goes in aggressive. He's able to take care of one and then dashes away to safety, and Baby Bay does it in response. Right, Bjor's out. FaZe, they waited, they patiently waited, even with Rob getting the pick. They're able to get a pick of their own, and now they're going to try to get on to B. Marv once again. So problematic for BBG here on A. They've got a heavy numbers advantage. BBG potentially just going to save this one out here.
Yeah, and that Corey lurk, I mean, got the first pick. Then once you've cleared out Rob Wiz on site, there's almost nothing to be afraid of for the side of FaZe. And of course, this will result in BBG opting to save these weapons. And man, that Marv play, there's so many things that I could talk about here, but I've seen him do it a couple times where he's using the Shrouded Step into Hell over towards default. Not anywhere that's even too aggressive, Doug. It's just a forward position. And even if you just made the audio cues, you would get the same effect. Where Rob Wiz is looking up, he's looking down. He doesn't know where the Omen has just TP'd to.
Right.
And, you know, earlier in the game, I saw them clearing heaven, you know, making sure that that Omen isn't getting somewhere behind their lines. And I mean, the fact is, not only did it get Rob to leave his position, just be unsure of where to put his crosshair, but Marv came away with the frag as well. He's 20 and 12 and looking so dominant. Like, the Omen difference is real right now, where Marv is just being able to, has been able to, you know, find entries, which Omen doesn't always, you know, lend itself to being able to do that. But when you're able to get away with it, it really is a powerful feeling effect. And Rob Wiz, I'm sure, was feeling the end of it there.
And
Oh.
and if it's not the Omen diff right now, Baby Bay has just been so good with the operator phase, with the numbers advantage. They're going to take some space across the middle of the map, but Critical can go big. Critical's already got 2. Critical looking for the 3rd. Marv trades it out, but the damage has been done. FaZe still opting to go that way, as Corey's able to take a pick on the middle of the map as well, right? Like, BBG, they had to funnel over. They lost a member at C. They lost a member at B. Now, York could potentially,
Oh, no.
depending on how he chooses to play this, but the truth is,
Corey.
BBG have lost. They've lost A.
Corey's already in A link. This could be tough.
Oh, the time.
Spike
He was on the other side of the box. He was never spotted.
I think he hears
Corey
Bill
can
behind
still
him.
hold this down. Yeah. Oh, man.
This
Oh,
is
the
that,
perfect timing.
This is that mid lurk that I was talking about, man, where if you find a pick over towards C, you know, Critical got his 2,
match point.
but Corey's already at front B. Corey's making presence or finding presence of the rotations that you're talking about, the funneling of BBG towards the action and towards where the spike is headed. You know, it may be almost predictable at that point that you're going to find those rotates.
Yeah.
You know, but Will just taking this dry challenge, unfortunately, at front B, totally changes the impact of that round and that lurk, where Corey just kind of gets free reign to decide what he wants to allow you to do. You know, he lets Rob Wiz into heaven there for free, kind of just chills behind the box, but nobody's going to be rotating in through A link. And so now on match series point, a fast B play from FaZe, Doug.
A little flash, a little dash, a little B control, as it looks like Marv should be able to get the spike down. But Will, I love the aggression from Will, using the run it back to stop any shenanigans that may be taking place. And Robin Critical get a couple as well, but Corey's still anchored in back behind the site. The spike is sitting dangerously for FaZe in the middle of the site, right? Like, there's no easy way to get to it. Raucus is going to try, but he's in a 1v3 in a spot where he can get crossed up all sorts of different ways. Foe able to take care of him. BBG refusing to go away.
And that's a nice response in this round where, you know, FaZe basically just running a set B play, understanding, okay, they've been playing towards A a lot of the time. Like, we might be able to key in on something here or not. You know, that could have just been an absolute blind call. And they got the space. They got the site, essentially. And I think really the difference maker there was the response from Will, not hesitating, just popping the run it back immediately. And he finds just one of those pixel, just a moment, right place, right time, a moment too soon or too late for Marv there. And he was carrying the spike. So FaZe, who entered that last round looking like they were ready to seal the deal, Doug, have suddenly allowed BBG another moment of truth, another moment to draw the conclusion a bit farther away. Zachary already up long A.
Yeah, but Critical is they're just rotating around each other, right? Like, FaZe is taking a ton of space up A long. Critical is taking it right back on the opposite side of the map. There is that trap wire that's making him think twice about it. But for now, it looks like FaZe, they've got the space, right? They've got the personnel over there. And Corey's watching the flank, ensuring that nobody pulls their way over. They've got a chance here, Baby Bay. Baby Bay! Oh, Zachary taking care of Bure. BBG down one. FaZe have site control. They should be able to get onto there, and then Zachary takes care of it as well to add insult to injury.
No.
It's just down to 3 for BBG. Will drops as well. Corey on the lurk. Things have fallen apart. It's a bloody disaster for BBG. It's just down to Foe. A flawless round to qualify for the close qualifiers and to eliminate BBG.
Wow. Congratulations to FaZe. A tremendous series out of them. BBG, well fought throughout, but I mean, dominant Haven performance. Really looked like it could go either way at times. But I think, you know, after looking at the last 4 or 5 rounds out of FaZe and the way that they adjusted, and really, I mean, mentioned it a couple times now, but that last round it happened again. Corey, just the threat of his lurks. If you're not clearing mid, if you're not taking your time to make that not a possibility, to eliminate that from the scenario, he's going to make it pay, and he did several times there. Well played to FaZe.
Well, and it's interesting too, right? Like on Haven, you often